hello there. It's another edition of Paul Mash TV. We're glad that you could join us today. Got a great interview coming up shortly. But before we get into that, don't forget about the subscribe and bell button if you haven't done that already. And anytime a new episode comes your way, you'll be notified. You can check that out. And leave a comment on the comment section if you like. We'd love to hear from you there. And you can also go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Paul Mash TV. And you can send us a comment in the inbox and comment everything you see, and you can even follow us there. We would love that. Also, if you'd like to email us, it's paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And if you're a band or a solo artist that's interested in being on the show, you can send us an email there and we'll show you how to do it. And but we also love fan mail, so if you're just simply a fan and you want to email us, you can do that at that same email address and we'll get back to you. And all this is going to be recapped at the closing credits at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. From Preston, England, we have Karl Eland today. He's another very awesome artist, and I think you're really going to love what he's about in the song at the end. And we're going to get to that in a second, but as always, we're going to have a quick word from Galtar, the guitar made specifically for a woman. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
Ready in 5.
Darling, when nothing else seems to match up. Galtar, the musical apparel that fits any outfit. Galtar, bringing heaven to earth. One gal at a time. GaltarHeaven.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Preston, England, we have Karl Eland today. Thanks for joining us, Karl.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you here. So tell us a little bit about how it all started for you as far as being an artist. I mean, everyone has their own story. I'm sure you have an interesting story.
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, my mum and dad were always listening to sort of American music. So I always had an interest in Americano type lyrical writing and songwriting. She used to listen to people like Bob Dylan and John Denver and Neil Diamond and all the classic Johnny Cash, people like that. So when I got to being about 16, 17, I started finding my own taste in music. I was into people like Springsteen and Tom Petty and Steve Earle and all the great, songwriters. And I started playing guitar. I had a few lessons, but didn't really go too well. So I learned on my own, like a lot of people do. Ended up going to a few open mic nights in my hometown. And then from that, started writing my own material. And I was in a couple of bands initially, but they didn't really work out. So I just started writing my own songs, really solo, just playing with an acoustic guitar. So, and then I started venturing out into my two neighbouring cities, London and not London, sorry, Manchester and Liverpool. And I played a few gigs. I played at the Cavern in Liverpool where the Beatles started playing, and a few other nice little gigs. And then I went to London after that for a while. And I lived in London for a few years and played all the venues there, and it just went on and on. And so I eventually ended up in Nashville for a while. I was in Nashville for about 3 months over the summer, and I played all the venues in Nashville, including the Bluebird, and then I came home from Nashville. This is just an overview, I guess, a quick overview of what I've been doing, and that's when I set about the task of recording my material and getting it down and getting it on Spotify and everything. So that's sort of the highlights.
Oh, okay. That's quite a story there, and I think you mentioned a few of your influences like John Denver, Johnny Cash, and all of them. Those are very awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have a few others besides those that you really looked up to?
Yeah, I think when I got to my sort of making my own decisions, that's when I still listen to Bob Dylan and some of the classic acts. So I got and Beatles and stuff, but when I was growing up, I was a big fan of Tom Petty, and I used to like Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen and all the rock acts that were around at the time, like Aerosmith and people like that. And then later on, I think more contemporary acts. I've always been a big fan of U2 as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the Killers and Coldplay, and I like Gaslight Anthem. Have you heard of those? Yeah, they're a good band from New Jersey. So yeah, sort of continued in the tradition that I was introduced to really as a kid, and then I've never really liked British bands apart from U2. I've always been into the the American songwriting, storytelling type acts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and there are so many legends, the ones you mentioned, and I can hear some of that in your sound too. So,
Yeah.
um, well, after watching this video that we're going to be showing in a few minutes here, they might want to download it on all the streaming platforms. I do believe you said you're on all streaming platforms. And they may want to follow you on the social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and stuff. Tell everybody how they can do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you Google me, you'll find me I'm on YouTube Music. I'm on Spotify. I also have a website, which is just karleland.com. Karl with a K, not a C. Yeah, I'm on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all the usual places. But the quickest place is just to Google my name, and then you find all the social networks from that, really. Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody do that. Look up Karl Eland on Google, and you'll find him on all streaming platforms, like you said, and the social media sites, and get his music. I know you would. He would love it, and I know that you would enjoy getting that as well.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to watch the video, as I said a moment ago. It's called "Ride It My Way." Tell everybody the story behind that song.
Well, the song's really sort of a bit of a take on the My Way, the famous song. Is it by Frank? Is it My Way? Is by Frankie. I can never remember his name. Frank Sinatra, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just a line I had in my head. If life's a highway, I'm going to ride it my way, and it's really about just making your own decisions in life and following your heart and following your own choices and doing things the way you want to do them, really. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I figured it was self-explanatory, but it is a great song, and I know everyone out there is going to love it. So check that out, and we'll get to that in just a second. But Karl, thank you so much for being on the show today. Come back anytime you have something new to plug, and maybe we'll have you back on sometime.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate that. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no problem. And here it is, the song by Karl Eland, and it begins right now. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just your lack of faith that's holding you down. Well, I gave my heart and chased my dream down. Got a whole lot of nothing back from this town. So I quit my job and I packed up the car and followed the fire that was in my heart. And I don't know where I'm going out on this broken road. I'm like a wild horse running, humming to the radio. And all I got is this beat up car, a dream, these words and this old guitar. A million songs for the young and the brave. And if this life's a highway, gonna ride it my way. I wanna ride it my way. Yeah, I got my scars. I got a scar for every battle that I won so far. But these days I ain't afraid to bleed, and there's still a lot of fight left inside me. And there's still some hope left in my heart. There's still a few songs in this guitar. I ain't looking back or turning around. I always swore one day I'd get out of this town. And I don't know where I'm going chase